Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie. You know me by now. And this is a board I have loved for years in various forms. The Yes Greats. And for 2026, it's a good bit stiffer. And it makes it much more of a great mountain freestyle board. It might not have the camber and the pop of some of the other boards in Yes's line, like the new Cinder and Cinder Extreme. But man, this is one versatile board with good grip. It's fun to carve. It's fun to turn. It butters well. It gets air well. And it's the kind of board that just really has a strong appeal to me when I'm in the mood for a somewhat shorter, wider twin ride, which I just love twins, and I love the perfect symmetry of an ASIM twin. This is a board I always have in my quiver, and it's often the board I spend the end of my season on. So that's why I requested it for the end, so I could have a little me time while I'm working for you. So I rode this primarily with my Nitro Team TLS boots and Union Force bindings. I got this in a wide variety of conditions. Everything from a little bit of soft, very late, fun, smooth, buttery, off-piste spring snow to some really weird, uneven groomers, some soft, messy snow, some hard, uneven snow, and a little bit of everything in between. I often compared it to the Cinder Extreme, and on occasion the Tweaker and Tweaker Pro. I tried to compare it to the Greats Extreme, but the camber profile and flex didn't match what the catalog said, so I'm not sure it's going to match the production models you're going to see. And this is an honest, objective review for you, the consumer. I can do this thanks to our sponsor, Blower Board Shop, a family-run business that's been around forever. They have a large online presence, and if you want to support honest, objective content and a really great shop that's been selling to snowboarders longer than most resorts have been allowing snowboarders on the hill, click through our links to Blower Board Shop. They're very deserving of your hard-earned cash. So when it comes to sizing, this Yes Greats is much wider than the waist width would lead you to believe, because if you follow this waist width over to where the inserts are, it suddenly bumps up and gets much wider. That's why I can ride a 54 and turn it pretty well. So this is the size I like. I've tried the 51, the 54, and the 56, and with this stiffer flex, this 54 is perfect for me. I like it better than the 54 and 51s I've owned in the past that were a softer flex. Now, when it comes to shape, this is an asymmetrical twin. You can see right here, this top side is where the heel side goes. This has a shorter, deeper side cut. Now, the toe side has a longer, shallower side cut because you're riding this perfectly duck and centered. And when you do that, your heels match perfectly with the side cut and your toes match perfectly with the side cut. It's more symmetrical than a true twin in terms of how we're set up because our bodies are asymmetrical when we're riding. I love this feeling. It just makes the turning experience much better. By the way, you don't ever set this back. Don't ride it this way. Some people can and don't mind it. A lot of people will complain about asymmetrical twins, often because they're not set up right. If you're not perfectly duck and perfectly centered, it can feel a little off. Let's talk camber profile. This Greats has a little extra camber than previous year's models. They now have 5 millimeters of camber underfoot that transitions down into rocker, but only 2 millimeters of rocker pointing up. And just to show you here, this is the 422 camber profile on the old Greats, but this is well used, many days on this. So the camber profile was a touch higher when I first got it, but you can see the slight difference. And it's hard to get true camber profiles because every board varies a little bit when it comes to the bend. You can see though, it is just a little higher. It feels a little easier to get my fingers under here and lift it up. But overall, it's just a slight improvement camber-wise and pop-wise from the old Greats that you see here. And this is a really fun, balanced camber profile that has that feel of full camber, but has the forgiveness of rocker in it. So this tracks super well, one footing and flat basing. This is very easy to skid a turn. So if you get off your game, you got your oh shit skid. And I think committed beginners could go for this and might catch their edge here and there, but pretty much intermediate on up to expert will have a blast with this, even with a little extra bit of camber versus previous years. When it comes to edge hold, this asymmetrical mid bite really helps improve the ride in hard snow. I just love the way this indention not only improves the turn initiation for a board this width, but it also helps grip. And this mid-bite tech is right by your inserts, so you get pretty good leverage into this. Maybe not as much as where the camber would end, but it still holds very well. It's almost up there with some of the best when it comes to aggressive disruptions and grip. So if you see a lot of hard snow, this could be a good buddy, and I often take it out on firm days. Let's talk new Greats Flex for 2026. It's definitely stiffer than my old Greats. The Flex feels continuous throughout, and it's got that good pop. The pop's even better than the old Greats. And let me show you my rather old, well-used Yes Greats, just so you can get an idea of the difference. The new Greats is definitely stiffer. This flex rating is finally close to what they say it is in the marketing material. Yes, for years, since they moved to SWS, has always made their boards a lot softer than their flex rating said. Now it is what they say it is. When it comes to pop, I like this stiffer flex. I didn't think I would for being able to access the pop, but it works. And while I wouldn't mind a little more pop tech to help this ollie a little higher, like the Cinder and Cinder Extreme do, I think it does good enough, and most people won't be bummed about it. But that would be the one area where I wouldn't mind seeing a little more improvement, and maybe this Extreme with a proper camber profile can do that. This is not a hard board at all for side hits, even though it's a little wide for me. It tracked well into it and landed out of it, had good pop on it. This is an excellent board for riding switch. And if you like to ride the pipe or you like to hit kickers, this is a great board. There are better boards for jibbing like the Cinder and Cinder Extreme. And when you get this out in uneven snow, I like this stiffer flex. It handles soft, uneven snow a hell of a lot better. It's much more damp. It's much better in chunder. It's still not amazing, but it's very good for a twin. And it can handle that hard, uneven snow, not only well with grip, but it can handle that weird chatter. Before it was a little more bucky, a little harder to deal with in uneven snow. Now it's even better. Now when it comes to turning, this initiated a turn much quicker than I thought it would for this width, but it does a pretty good job thanks to this indention in the waist. It makes this board turn faster than you would think for its width over the inserts. And when I got it on edge, especially in same day comparisons to my older, softer Greats, this just had a little more spring out of the turn and held in a carve a lot better. This is already one of my favorite twins to turn and carve with. And now it just made it better with that stiffer flex. It feels stiffer, not only tip to tail, but a little more stiffer torsionally as well. And it's really fun to engage and turn on this regular and switch. And while this has a very fun, turny feel that I just truly love, I was really impressed with it not feeling too hooky, especially with this deeper heel side cut. I can take this straight much better than I thought it would be. I thought it was great for having such a deep heel side cut and a shallow toe side cut. Their transition into these side cuts is pretty good. So not the best for straight lining, but this stiffer flex will make it go straight better than the older model. And this base is pretty dry, and that's just because the person who demoed this before me jibbed a lot with it, and I cleaned it all up before the review. It needs a wax, but when waxed well, this glides well. It's the same centered base I've had on many Yes grates in the past. And I'm never a fan of die cut, especially with all these different colors. I can tolerate it because the rest of this board is so good. Now, when it comes to powder, this isn't bad for an asymmetrical twin. I didn't get this grates in powder, but I've ridden my old grates in powder, and the camber profile is so similar and the shape is the same that I'm 99.9% sure this is still going to be a very fun, very easy riding powder board for an asymmetrical twin. And let's say you're like my specs, but you want a powder twin. This in 159 would be a hell of a lot of fun because you'd have so much surface area, so much more length, and so much more float. But if you're really serious about like twin powder riding, you might like something better like the Spring Break powder twin. But as it stands now, it's a very good board for riding the mountain on groomer days and then going off piste and screwing around with a little bit of powder. I've dabbled with this in up to about 1.5 feet, and that was too much for me personally. But if you know how to ride a camber twin in powder, you're gonna love this. So overall, this new stiffer flex and this slightly tweaked camber profile makes this grates even more like what they described in the past. And now the flex actually matches the rating that they give it or close to it. And it makes this an even more fun mountain freestyle board that I would love to have in my quiver. And if you see hard snow, but want a board that's great for good snow and you love an asymmetrical twin, this could be your new best friend.